everyone, good day sir, classmates and friends. I am Johara Garza Zapotalo, a Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Social Studies. For today's video, I'm going to discuss about the famous French monarchs during the age of Absolutism and their contribution to the world history. So, let's go!
An absolute monarchy in French slowly emerged in the 16th century and became firmly established during the 17th century. An absolute monarchy is a variation of the governmental form of monarchy in which the monarchs hold supreme authority and where that authority is not restricted by any written laws, legislature, or customs. Louis XIV was the most famous exemplar of absolute monarchy, with his court central to French political and cultural life during his reign. It ended in May 1789 when widespread social distress led to the convocation of the States General, which was converted into a National Assembly in June. The Assembly passed a series of radical measures, including the abolition of feudalism, state control of the Catholic Church, and extending the right to vote. The final outcome of these acts did indeed centralize the authority of France behind the king. The replacement of the government ministers, the removal of castles, and the other financial policies of Colbert did considerably reduce the French national debt. In the 18th century, however, the relocation of nobles and the sheer obsolescence of Versailles made an important place for a rising merchant class and an investigative press. Perhaps the most pressing consequence of absolutism in France is the immigration of the Huguenots. For the merchant class, their immigration effectively led to the brain drain and a loss of tax revenue for the French. Moreover, borrowed from New France, they immigrated to the other nations, most notably the 13 colonies, taking their skills in printing, glassmaking, carpentry, ceramics, and deep belief in the need of freedom of religion and the right to bear arms. The other consequence was a large reduction in the dominating influence of the Kingdom of France in Europe and a rise in the power of the other kingdoms to strengthen their empires, notably in the Great Britain, Spain, and the Holy Roman Empire. This resulted in numerous deadly wars with them, some of which were won by France or its allies. A severe deterioration of the first French colonial empire's economic advantage and accumulation of debts in the kingdom, and a significant loss of economic, diplomatic, political, and cultural influence in Europe, all of which were caused by them. Another consequence of the creation of the United States and of the costly wars between France and all neighbors in Europe was also that it initiated a lot of severe political and social troubles throughout the kingdom, and it paved the way to the French revolutions and finally the end of the absolute monarchy. Via short step of constitutional monarchy, restoring some parliamentary powers to the States General between 1789 and 1791, and then to the First French Republic, during which the eviction of the traditional French clergy and nobility from the new constitution further strengthened the military alliance of all European neighbors against France. That lost influence of the France was never restored in the following centuries, even after the emergence of the First French Empire, which terminated the dictature, reunited a strongly divided France, restored the freedom of religion, and allowed the re-emergence of stable commercial sector, but also initiated new war against other monarchies in continental Europe, or after the formation of a new French colonial empire by the Third Republic. Louis XIV, King of France around 1643 to 1715, ruled his country principally from his great palace at Versailles during one of the country's most brilliant periods. Today, he remains the symbol of the absolute monarchy of the classical age. With the help of his finance minister Jean-Baptiste Colbert, Louis XIV established reforms that cut France's deficit and promoted industrial growth. During his reign, Louis XIV managed to improve France's disorganized system of taxation and limit formerly haphazard borrowing practices.